To the leisure market, or having a leisure strategy. When I say leisure, we're talking about holiday makers and people who are travelling for pleasure, not for business. And this is actually, it's a very, very, very worthwhile market, certainly in Australia, to be pursuing. I think it's similar around the world, but holiday as a reason for travel accounts for around 44% of visitor nights in New South Wales. That's a statistic from 2015 and 16. So it's undeniable that it's a massive segment that we should be focusing on. When we're trying to drive sales in our hotel, the leisure market makes up a massive chunk, and we really should be trying to maximise that. Largely, all the earlier modules we've talked around your hotel website and online visibility, online distribution, should take care of the leisure strategy for you, because it's all comes back to that online visibility. That's the key. So there's not a whole lot I can do, or even if you had a sales manager sitting in your property, there's not a whole lot more that a sales manager can do to actually start knocking on doors and getting guests to come and stay with them for the purpose of holiday. But doesn't mean we shouldn't have it on our radar and we shouldn't be thinking about it. Yes, rely on our online visibility and all the work we've done there to drive it, but some other things we can do. I mentioned some of the ideas earlier around the VFR, the visiting friends and relatives. It sort of goes hand in hand with the leisure market and all those transient travellers. But typically the leisure market is very price sensitive. So this is where your discounting and your promotions and deals can actually assist in tickling that market and turning it on. So be very conscious of that. Another thing you can do, like from a tangible viewpoint, is if you've got good data coming out of your property management software, your PMS, you can probably attack some geographic marketing. And look, even if you don't have good data coming out, hopefully you've got a reasonable feel for where most of your travel is coming from. So if you're regional, you'll know a couple of major cities of where it comes from. If you're metropolitan, you'll know some regional areas that your travels are coming from, hopefully. And so what I'm suggesting here is that if you can identify those postcodes of where a lot of your travel comes from, let's go get some more. If there's a reasonable sway towards a certain geographic area of people coming to you, there's a reason why that works. Either it's a good fit, it's a good drive, and it's just the right distance that they go, you know what, it's easy to get out of the city and on the way back home, or whatever the reason is. Let's take a hint from the data, and it says, well, if they're coming there already, there's probably more that would like to come also. And you can direct some marketing into that. Now, marketing these days, whether you choose a digital path or old school path, and I'm not saying old school is not viable, there's certainly some stuff you can do with a bit of good old fashioned hard copy. The key is you're targeting it to certain areas and testing. So if you're going to do it, let's test it. So if you identify an area that you think can work, and let's just say if it's digital, well, I'll go old school. Let's just say you're going to go with a direct mail. Send a different offer, or send the same offer out to, if there's 6 postcodes in that area, make sure each postcode gets a different coupon code, as an example, an encouragement to book direct on your website. And so it'll help you refine even further which ones work better. So if you put the offer out there in a smash and grab direct mail, you'll go, you know what, I hit that area, but this suburb here in particular performed better than any other. Let's do some more there and see if that works. So if you're going to do some marketing, you want to be able to measure and test it. Same in a digital sense. You're targeting at capabilities on the various platforms. And, an obvious one is Facebook. It's so easy to target and so easy to measure what's working. So you're going to be putting some advertising into certain geographic areas via Facebook, as an example. There needs to be an alteration there, or a way for you to measure it. Now, luckily in Facebook, you can actually just see the performance from a click-through perspective. So that's one way, and you can actually then track it through to a goal and get them through a certain booking page. So that's getting a little bit more advanced, but even if you can just see click-through rates on same ad but into different areas, you'll actually start to get a really strong feel for how you can turn the leisure market on through some geographic marketing. So that's probably one of the most tangible things you can do in the leisure space around trying to turn the leisure market on or off, is really get to know where, from a geographic perspective, where the business is that you can turn on, and you'll get to learn the price points and the offers that actually work in different areas. So we really encourage you to head down that path. Another thing around the leisure strategy, leisure market, is around packages and experiential marketing. So packages is an obvious one. They've been around for years, and you're packaging it with local attractions, packaging it up with restaurants, experiences, whatever it be. And it's just a way to be found and a way to sort of, I guess, bundle things up, and people see the value in it and say, yeah, I'm coming for that reason, I might as well stay with you. So that's certainly one thing you can do, and packages should always be explored. Been around for a long time, still very valid, still working. The slightly different one is experiential marketing. So what this is, it's a relatively new term where you're actually doing things very, very different, providing people with a massively out there experience, and then hopefully letting the experience itself do some selling for you, do some marketing for you. So the experience that you offer may be a net result. So you might put an offer out there that actually gets people to come to town to do something, and you might make any money out of it, but you've had a bunch of people come and experience it. But it is so good, it is so value packed, that they start raving about it on social media channels and telling all their friends and whatever. And it just gets that name out there, and people start and get some more eyes on your business. So that's a very brief introduction to experiential marketing. I think there's some links in the workbooks that I've put in there about some examples and some different ideas there, but I'd really encourage you to explore that as well if you're looking for fresh ideas around how to drive something at your property. Basics, I would start with geographic marketing, move into packages, and then experiential marketing would be my advice there. But basically, as one of my clients talks to me about, is the leisure market is, as I term it, made up of weddings, parties, anything. The good old Aussie band from years ago. My client calls it BDM, births, deaths and marriages. It's all those family celebrations, reasons for holidays, gets together. But that's I guess another segment of the whole leisure market is births, deaths and marriages. Harder to tickle, but good to understand that there are those needs there in the marketplace, and again, your online visibility should take care of a lot of that end. But if you go back to those other things I've just finished speaking about, they're the things that you've actually really got some control of, some sales levers, strategic sales levers as we call them, to drive some occupancy into the leisure market for your hotel.